What's up, YouTube? Kedris here. I'm here with another video to talk about transfer rumors, things that have been swirling around the storm. I know that we're now in the second week of January and we haven't seen a signing come in through the door yet, and I'm sure it's frustrated a lot of people. I'm of the opinion that I'd rather sign the right player than the quick player. So, as much as I hate that we don't have any signings so far, I think the places that we're looking at and the quality of player that we're tied to is good enough. Maybe not for some of the options, but at least overall. So I decided I'd collect all the rumors for all the players that have been talked about in the media and kind of just look through it with you. This video is meant to be kind of a little off the cuff. And I took a good 10, 20 minutes just to pull up. I like my websites. I like Transfer Market. I like SofaScore. I like FotMob. I think these are great websites and tools for anybody who wants to learn about players. I was going to bring up StatHead, but because of how many windows I have open, it kind of like glitches out my computer a little bit. So I ended up closing all my StatHead windows, but I will be pulling them up individually for each player as we go along. So starting with the players I want to talk about first, I want to talk about goalkeepers. I think as of late, we've seen that John Victor is not up to snuff, obviously. I mean, I think he was a player there, but after that debacle, I think his playing time is going to go way down. I think his opportunity is going to go way down, and I think he might end up moving on to another club that needs a keeper in the summer. We'll talk about when we get there. I think Angus Gunn, he should have played in the FA Cup game. I don't know why he didn't. I don't have a problem with Gunn. I don't think he's good or bad. I think he's just an average keeper, a depth player. But he wants minutes and he wants to leave in this window. So I think this is a good opportunity for us to let him go on his way and grab a keeper for the future, or at least the rest of the season. And I think the future part of my statement is the part I really want to focus on, especially for goalkeepers, the ones we're going to be looking at. I think I've said this before. We need to go younger. We need to go up and coming keepers. I think we really need to get into mid 20s because the keepers we got now are 29 and 33 respectively. Now, the first keeper that's on the list that we've seen is David Soria, plays for Getafe in the La Liga. I actually just watched them play yesterday. Uh, yeah, yeah, they played Real Sociedad. He led into, I mean, I feel like he could have done better on some of the saves, but that's just me. I wasn't really watching the match to watch him play. I didn't even know I was going to do this in depth of a transfer video until about 10 minutes before I started recording because I just kind of got into it a little bit. But it's whatever. He did all right. Could have done better. I think there's some saves he could have made, but I mean, to me, being 32 years old is more of an indictment because, like I said before, I want to focus on young and upcoming. I want to look to the future. He's got some caps for Spain, I believe, is the backup. He's, like I said, a bang average keeper for me. Right foot, 6'4". I mean, and Getafe is not having a good time of it, huh? Loss, draw, loss, 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 loss. Huh. So that means that he deals with a lot of shots. 62 saves. Scores 12 from corners, 5 set pieces. So he's actually underperforming. That's not good. 72%. Prevented -0.1. So he's not making any heroic saves. Like I said, I think he's just an average keeper. He seems to be kind of your run-of-the-mill keeper. I think if he comes to Forest, he's going to be bang average, if not worse in the Prem. Because the Prem's got a lot more taller, more physically powerful players. So like things like headers are more prominent and score more than in any other league, really. And it's something that you got to watch out for. And he hasn't seemed to be like exceptionally good at it. I've never repeated it multiple times, but it just seems kind of normal. 48 grand a week. Like I said, guess he's got good distribution. I didn't really notice it when they were playing. Like when Getafe were playing, I didn't really notice his distribution was insane or anything. But then again, like I said, I wasn't really watching for him, and they didn't like do anything crazy with it. I don't know. I don't think he's the player for us. Like I said, for his age, and then I think if you're gonna go average keeper, I'd rather go the different option that's more in the age bracket we're looking for here. Speaking of the age bracket, Andriy Lunin, Ukrainian. He's the one. He's my number one target. He's been the backup keeper for Real Madrid for a while now. And I think he's kind of been on the cusp of like needing to start, but he's always been held back by their starter, Courtois. I'm an idiot, bro. I knew it was Courtois before I started filming, but I forgot. But yeah, so I like him. Like I said, he's young. He fits the profile I'm talking about, and he does really good for his country. He hasn't had a lot of chance to play, and he's looking to move on this summer with minutes, especially because they have a new promising goalkeeper who came up through the academy, who looks to be trying to like vie for that spot. And I think with his age compared to the academy player, he's probably going to lose out and lose minutes. So I think for him, it's time for him to move, time for him to go. He's had some bang average performances. He's been injured a little bit, but not much. But like I said, you can see here, he hasn't been playing minutes, and he needs it. He wants it, and that's what I want to see in a keeper. Someone who needs it and who wants it. They played against Olympiacos. Bro gave up 4 goals. That's insane. Save percentage is really good. Why did he concede 4 goals? Huh. He only played 1 match. He's had 3 goals against him in 1 match. That's terrible. I don't know. You're not going to get much from this because he hasn't played much. But I can tell you just based on like what I've been watching him play, which I didn't see the Olympiacos match, but I guess this is the one where he conceded 3 right here. They didn't take his score down by very much. So I wonder if those goals weren't actually his fault. I don't know, something to think about. Like I said, I've seen him play. I think every time I've seen him play, at least, he's been solid. I don't have any issues with him, and he fits the kind of my agenda of what the age I want my goalkeeper to be. So he's my top pick. Out of the goalkeepers, the last goalkeeper option, and probably not a lot of people are going to like it, but we're linked to Zetterstrom from Derby County. He's Swedish. I did watch a couple matches after I saw his name pop up in the rumors. Derby are so crap, bro. I love it. But he actually looked pretty decent, very commanding of the box. Likes to step out to get crosses. I think actually he could be a decent keeper. Could be the next thing. Unfortunately, he plays for a real crap club, but you know we all can't pick the opportunities that we can get sometimes. And I know that it being a Derby County, that some people will be turned off by him. But when I look at a player, I don't judge them on the club that they're at. I think the era of player loyalty to the club is kind of past. Now it's kind of loyalty to a wage, and then it's the fans really. They're the only ones that stay loyal. We are eternal. Managers come and go, players come and go, owners even come and go, but the fans will always be here. And like I said, I say all that to say I wouldn't mind if we got him. Like I said, he's a decent keeper. Darby been shit, and he's actually done a decent job keeping them in games. That Middlesbrough game especially was like he did really like he was sensational in that game. I didn't see the Birmingham one. I did see the Leeds one, and he did concede 3 goals, but like they were getting dominated. It was ridiculous. But yeah, pretty good rating. See, look at that. Goals you're like expected. This is how much you've seen like are expected to go in. This is how many he's actually conceded. So he's overperforming. And that's really what you want to see right there. Which actually makes me irritated because I forgot to look at that when we were doing Lunan. My agenda requires me to go back and look. Oh, that's why I didn't. Because there's no freaking data. He's only played 1 match. Alright. I thought it might have been me. That might have been my fault, but turns out it wasn't. That's good. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't mind him. He's probably my second favorite option. The only reason I picked Lunin over him is because he played for Real Madrid, and I kind of give that prestige and that aura to him. Zetterstrom plays for Derby County, so kind of come from filth. But he would be my second option. I'd rather have him over Soria, and I think they're both good options. I think they're actually good scouts. I think the issue of the goalkeeper is interesting because Sells, like I said, my match reaction looked kind of old and slow. So maybe he didn't recover from his groin injury as well as we thought. And maybe this might be one of them things where like he's old enough where like issues like that are going to be persistent. So I wouldn't mind either one. Moving on to the midfield, I saw 2 links to midfield options. The first one and the one I'm most excited about is for Tezzi from Inter. God, like a character of his pedigree coming to Forest. Oh my God. The common theme we seem to be doing and looking for is kind of like a more attacking player, like an attacking mid player, because both of the options are 10s, kind of. So that's really interesting. And I don't know what that means for Morgan Gibbs White. Are we looking for somebody to challenge his position? Because if we're looking at someone like Fratesi, this is a player that should start for us. Like he should be a starter. And if he's a starter, where does that leave Morgan? You play Fratesi in the 8? Are you asking him to track back and defend? I think he could do it, but the other guy we're looking at, that's not even anywhere close to what he's known for. So I think it's 2 things, 2 options. One, we're looking to sell Morgan Gibbs White in this window or really early in the summer, which would make sense because he hasn't been really producing, especially for the wages that we're paying him. The second option, which I think I would love to see and would agree with, is we're switching our system from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-1-4-1. He would be an amazing left 8 because he's got a great long shot on him. I would love to see us go into like a 4-1-4-1 and have him as the left 8, Morgan Gibbs White as the right 8. Oh, just thinking about it. Good thing y'all can't see me from the chest down. Anyways, so he's been kind of dealing with some injuries this season, which kind of puts me off a little bit. But I'd rather take the chance and get him than not if he comes at a really good price. But 9 appearances this season obviously is terrible. These injuries I've been talking about. He's been injured. He just got injured again recently. He played in the Atlanta against Inter game. Kind of was innocuous. Didn't get on it during when they played against Bologna. I didn't watch either of those matches, just for a heads up. He's just not been getting minutes. He's not like this season. He's nowhere to be found for Inter, and he was essential to them for a while. So like these stats tell a story of a player who's dog shit. But I mean, like I feel like there's quality still in there. I mean, he's only 26. He's definitely more of an attacking player. So you'd have to play like an attacking 8 or the 10. Like I say, his stats say he's garbage, but there's a player there. I know he's been a player like that for a long time. I just noticed I had caps lock on the whole time. I don't even know why caps lock was on, as I hadn't used any caps. See, bruh. What, guys? Oh my god. Can we get him, please? Anyways, moving on to the second option. Obviously, this would be my favorite. It goes without saying. But the second option we're looking at, Deli Basharu from Lazio. Lazio. I said it right the first time, didn't I? I'd be tripping, dog. It's early in the morning for me. But Nigeria, and if you think that name is familiar, then yes, it is. He has a brother who plays for Watford in the midfield as well. His brother is more of an actual like 8 than he is. I remember watching him a lot, and I did a lot of FC playthroughs with his brother because I did Watford for some weird reason. But he's had some injuries, but he's been pretty alright recently. He's off at AFCON right now, which, by the way, Nigeria. Let's go. I guess I bet, dude, if Nigeria wins, I mean, all I know would be so mad that he wasn't part of that. But he's an attacking. He is more of an out and out 10 than Fratizzi. He plays more. He kind of plays more like Morgan Gibbs White, who like you know how Morgan kind of drifts to the wings a lot. He plays like that. He's very rapid. He's got a good power shot. He's been average. But hasn't really got the playing time, which is why you see it. I feel like getting him specifically is more like a backup option. I don't even think he starts for Lazio. I'm pretty sure. But I mean, look, played once, started 4 out of 7 matches, came on as a sub. Yeah, he's not a starter. I mean, he looks rapid. He's got a power shot on him, but he's more of like an unknown option. I think we're not really sure where he is and what he's doing. But I think it was interesting the fact that we seem to be going after a kind of like a 10 type player. Him more than Fratesi, I see as it could be a backup option. Fratesi, I feel like needs to start. I feel like he's that good. All right, we're moving on. Of course, we're looking at strikers. That's what all this window is about. Strikers. And continuing with the Ukraine connection. I don't even know how to say that, bro. Is that Dovich? Dovbik? I don't know. If we sign him, I'm gonna have a hard time. But anyways, he's had 13 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist. He's been injured. What is with our connection to players that have been injured? That's kind of annoying. But he's been injured with Roma, and ironically enough, I watched the Lecce game. He came on and scored. I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? Um, but yeah, Ferguson isn't also an option that we're looking at. Ironically, the guy from Brighton, he's on loan at Roma right now. But Ferguson got injured too. What the heck are we doing? 28, left-footed. Left-footed. Huh. Been pretty average. Expected goals 2.7, actual goals 3, so he's a little bit above XG. 10 shots, kind of unremarkable at everything. He's kind of like one of them. His profile is like big bodied, like Strand Larson, like basically the dice system type of freaking guy. He's did he get injured again in that match? Did he get injured again in that match? No shot. I don't remember that. I think he's injured right now. That's hilarious. But yeah, anyways, he fits that kind of profile. I think we're gonna notice a lot with all these strikers I'm about to list off, and I'm about to list off a good few. The profile is the same. Tall, powerful, good in the air, striker. Kind of your classic 9. Him, I mean, if he's injured, I don't want him. I think he's decent. He's 28 though. How old is Igor? 24. So I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I don't think he's not my top option, at least. Not for me. I know I sometimes grab him in FIFA. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, that's what I thought. Pretty average striker. What a flop. Anyways, moving on to the next guy. I just spoke about him, Evan Ferguson, 21. Had a lot of hype around him at Brighton. We were actually linked with him to be signed last year and in the summer. Ended up not happening. He got loaned out to Roma. And I mean, he's been all right at Roma. He hadn't really loaded up the board or anything. He's an interesting one because you would think with like how tall he is, he's 6'2", that he'd be winning a lot of like headers and stuff, but he's actually more of a ball on the ground type of striker. Like he likes to like dribble and he'll pass it, and he doesn't really win as many headers as I thought he would. But he is also injured. Seems to be a common theme here. He's also a little above XG. Roma's weird to watch. I've been watching a little bit of the Serie A for personal reasons. And Roma, you'd think like you hear so much about them that they'd be like really good. And I think they're actually pretty decent in the league. But like when you watch them play, it feels so meh. Like it's not really like they're dangerous. They kind of just win, but it's not easy, and it's just like you're watching them and you're like thinking to yourself, why does this work? But why do they make it look so hard to? But why at the same time, like it's just really confusing to watch them play. I think there could be a study done on Roma. And next up, the boy Jorgen Strand Larson. Just before I started recording, I saw an update that we have officially inquired with Wolves about him. The estimated price is going to be £40 million. Norwegian, 25, had 14 Premier League goals last season. He's only had 1 appearance, 3 goals and assists this season. That doesn't seem correct at all. That's more correct right there. 14 starts, played as a sub in 5 matches. His rating's been low. Seems to be that from the Wolves fans, he's had an attitude problem this season. Could that have something to do with the fact that they're last in the league on 6 points now? 6 points? I don't know. I know he scored. I know he scored against Shrewsbury Town. He started, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I think he's gonna be my top option. And I understand the hesitancy around Strand Larson. He's your typical dice forward, tall, strong. I actually think he's really good at laying off passes. Because he does a lot of that, like with Wolves, especially last year. He'd like get the ball, hold it up, and then pass it off. And I understand he's not good enough based on what he's done so far, and just looking at him raw and how he plays. To Forest fans, at least, he's not good enough. He's not Chris Wood level striker, and that's what a lot of people feel is needed for our team. I don't think the striker is the problem. I think it is a symptom, but it's not the problem. The root issue. So I would sign him. 14 prim goals. I don't know what stat it is. I don't remember. I know I looked it up before. Give me Strand Larson. Oh, that's terrible. Look at that. That's terrible. Oh my god, his stats are disgusting. I take back everything I said. Let's not sign this fucker. He's terrible. Absolute dog shit. I don't know why anybody would want this guy on our team. Get out of here. That's okay. It wasn't actually really my option I wanted to pick. I want to pick somebody else. I'm going to show you all in a second. But yeah. So that's what we're looking at. We've inquired about him, so he might become the team. I'm joking. I still want him. He's my number one. Moving on to the next guy. Mendy Taremi. The only striker out of this bunch that doesn't have the profile or the playstyle to match the Sean Dyche kind of mold. He's not particularly tall, not particularly strong. He's more of like more like Igor, honestly. Like as in he's not really striker. He's more of like feel like you would play off the center backs more. He'd be better. He played for Olympiacos. That's why I know a little bit more about him. He can get physical, but he's a much better passer than he is in the air. Like better threat in the air. 33. Do we really want to invest in a striker's 33 when we got Chris Wood, who's already kind of out the door? Like, is Chris Wood ever gonna play for us ever again? I don't even know. Strengths, penalty taking. Gotta love to see that. Playmaking, like I said, he's more of like a. He can make. He's like a kind of like he's very very similar to Igor in profile. 2.4 million, so he'd be dirt cheap. 6 starts for Olympiacos, 5 subs, 8 goals, 2. That's pretty good, but then against the Greek league, so I mean, how much can you take that seriously? 8 goals over XG. I don't know. He's not for me, but we're linked to him, so I thought I'd just run through him real quick. I'm not even gonna go to StatHead. I don't really care. I think 33 Greek league. Like, let's not, please. All right, moving on to my second option that I like in this series from Fenerbahce, Morocco. 15 appearances, 7 goals, no assists. That's important. He's an out-and-out striker, guys. He plays up against the center backs. He doesn't peel away. He doesn't assist. He is the embodiment of Sean Dyche right there. And that's why I like him as my second. I think he'd work in this Sean Dyche system. Pretty average performance, like I said. He's the type of striker who's like he plays up against the center backs. He doesn't really get involved in play that much. Good rating. He's got a good season so far. That's why I think he's my second option. 28 years old. That's probably my first indictment on him, but I mean, I would happily deal with that to have him at our club. Left, is he left-footed? I I didn't know that. I didn't know he was left-footed. Um, 8.4. So he's actually underperforming, which is insane. Huh. Fast break, situation, goal. That's what we do. We want to create the fast break. But anyways, he's the type of striker I think we really would really be essential in the system we need right now. He's a striker who can play up against the center backs, who makes those runs in behind, and we need. I don't think we're gonna get it with Sean Dyche, but we really need to put emphasis on it, like being more aggressive, counterattacking, putting more energy and effort into it. And he's the type of player who really lends to that and helps out with that. He's a little selfish. He likes to score his goals. But I mean, I would rather have a greedy striker than a striker that doesn't score goals at all. Like I love Igor, but he gotta score, my brother. Gotta score. And I think he does everything but score. Unfortunately, you as a striker, that's what your main job is. Everything else can be ignored. His stats don't show very well either. But he's been playing good for Fenerbahce. I've been watching him. He's been pretty decent. That's it for the strikers. So to recap, Strand Larson and Nasiri are my top two strikers of all the ones we talked about. Moving on to other news. Murillo has been linked with a move to AC Milan. I'm looking at a report over here on my other screen. Nottingham Forest 23-year-old Brazilian center back Murillo is on a short list for defensive reinforcements at Milan. It is said the Rossoneri will stop pursuing Nathan Ake due to his injury. List of alternatives reportedly include Joe Gomez and Kim Min-jae from Bayern Munich. I don't know if we let him go in this window. I would probably throw a riot if we did. But this is when I was saying like Murillo and Anderson can go in the summer. These are really big indicators of that because Chelsea have looked at him, Real Madrid have looked at him, and now AC Milan are looking at him. I think he does go. I think we need to get prepared for a world where he goes. Other news: Dan and Doy has been linked with a move away. They wanted Lazio wanted to do a swap deal for Lorenzo Luca. I had Lorenzo Luca pulled up. Why didn't I do him? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Lorenzo Luca is your typical Sean Dyche striker. He plays tall, strong, heading balls, yada yada yada. He's been on loan at Napoli. Is he? Am I tripping? Luca is at Napoli, isn't it? Yeah, he's at Napoli. I knew it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't me. This thing is wrong. This thing over here is wrong. Bro, transfer market has Dan and Doy valued at 40 million euros. That's insane. They obviously haven't been watching him at all. Elliot Anderson has been linked with. There's like a big expose put out by David Ornstein, like talking about Elliot Anderson being a target for Man City, Chelsea, Manchester United in the summer. I think we all at this point all know and accept that Elliot's going to go. It's just it is what it is. But I like seeing all these clubs interested in bidding in him because that means the price is going to go up. Same for Murillo. I think we have to accept the world where those two go. And this will be a real test. Hopefully, Edu, if he's still the director, can replace him efficiently. The track record is not good so far for Edu. The last thing that I want to talk about is Eduardo Above from Roma. We were in for him, midfielder, plays a 10, but he chose to go to Watford for some reason. How does somebody choose Watford over us, bro? That's so embarrassing. Golly, man. Golly, bro. Anyways, that wraps up our transfer updates. Kind of just wanted to compile it all in a video, be able to give y'all kind of just a little bit of knowledge about the different players we're talking about, type of profiles. I think you can kind of see the type of profiles we're looking at and get a general idea. And I think it's better than having to sit there and open up 20 tabs like I did and go through and look at all this stuff yourself. So I was able to show you all the stats. Even if you didn't agree with what I was saying, you could see it for yourself. And I think that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just reporting the news, saying what's up, and that's it for this video. If you'd like more content, more news, make sure to hit a like and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to start posting these on my, cause I have like a post section of the community tab for YouTube. If you want me to start posting like transfer updates and stuff, I also have a X link, but I'm not really very good at posting on there. I'm an old man kind of when it comes to that stuff. But hey, if that's what you want, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a good one.